Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Want to give some time for people to kind of come on in. The time now is 8:49. Giving some time for people to come on in. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. The time is 8:49. I am running a bit behind tonight because we normally start our sessions exactly at 8:30. I actually had to handle something tonight, so I do apologize for my tardiness, but nevertheless, I am here and ready to rock. For anyone that are listening or looking as of right now, if you want to comment below and let us know who's in the place. Who's in the place? So we have a lot to cover tonight. We have a lot to cover. And oftentimes I normally kind of go over the hour anyway. But like I said, I had to handle something before I hopped on today live. But my name is Melanie. You are watching Core Inspirations Live. We are actually doing a new series around here where we're doing what we call social work sessions live, where we talk about all things social work. Tonight, as you can look at the title, post-grad, being strategic in the job search process. This is for my BSW students and professionals, for my MSW students and professionals, and anyone just trying to get some additional insight about social work career. So I'm going to give a couple of minutes for people to kind of chime on in. And like I said, I am a little bit behind. Normally we start exactly or around 8:30. So I'm going to give a little time just for people that may have came at 8:30 and didn't see me live and just kind of like left. So I want to kind of give space for people to kind of like see that I am live. But nevertheless, if you didn't have a chance to, tune in exactly at 8:30, or if you just had something else or your schedule just doesn't fit, I'll definitely be leaving this up for a replay, okay? I'll definitely be leaving this up for a replay. So we're going to give just a couple of minutes for people to be coming in, because I see it looks like someone's looking at it now. I can see that. Again, if you want to introduce who you are, I definitely would love to know. Definitely don't forget to tell me your name. Are you a BSW student, MSW student? Are you currently in a social work career? I would love to know. My name is Melanie, and you are watching Core Inspirations, as I previously stated. And this channel is all about social work. We are doing social work live sessions where we're coming in talking about all things within the process of being a social work student, and then of course when you graduate, all of that in between, what that looks like. And I pride myself in really helping you connect the dots from the classroom to your career. So just a little bit about myself. If this is your first time watching me, my name is Melanie, and I have obtained my BSW, my MSW, and currently I am a therapist. I'm currently in a therapist role as well as a nonprofit role. And I have over 19 years experience as a worker with children and families. Originally, I was a non-traditional student, so I had some work experience that I later went back to school and obtained my BSW and MSW. So if you haven't caught, or if you hadn't had a chance to look at the other lives, definitely do that. I do leave the replays up in the event people's schedules does not align with the time frames. And again, I'm just kind of like starting this session out. So if certain things that you may have questions with, I always tell people you're encouraged to definitely go and reach out to me on Instagram. If you go to my YouTube About page, it's going to be a link that directly links you right to there. So let me just put my name in the chat for anyone that's wanting to actually follow me on Instagram. Because any questions that you have that you feel like hey, I would like to know a particular topic on this, or have questions surrounding this, you're always welcome to provide those questions there. And I will bring them into the sessions that we have live. And our sessions are always going to be on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of right now. Like I said, I have some changes, a little bit changes in my schedule So I don't want to change it because I've just kind of like started having it at 8:30. But in the event I do need to change it, I would definitely let the community know. But if you are, like I said, watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing, definitely don't forget to subscribe so we can officially welcome you in our social work tribe. I'm going to give about 1 more minute. The time now is 8:54, and I'm going to be starting at 8:55. And I just put that in the chat, so you should be able to see that. That's Core Inspirations, that one word. Core Inspirations is actually in the chat. For anyone that has questions regarding anything that they feel like they may be experiencing within their social work program, or if you're inspiring and you're considering the field of social work and you're kind of like wanting to have some questions around certain things that you may be wondering or may be interested in or inquiring about, definitely feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Like I said, Core Inspirations, one word, and I left the actual spelling in the chat. All right, so we are going to get started. Nevertheless, y'all, we are going to get started. So tonight we're talking about post-grad. We're talking about, let me pull up my topic because I want to make sure that I stay on topic. Post-grad, being strategic in the job search process. So I know around this time last year, not even last year, what is this, 2021? In 2019, because that's when I graduated from my MSW program. I graduated May of 2019, and I graduated from an advanced standing program. So March, around this time, I know that I was doing a lot of thinking, like, okay, thinking about what particular role I wanted to apply for. I was still trying to figure it out. Me personally, I didn't want to actually get started working like right away. I wanted to kind of give myself some time because I had just finished graduate school. I wanted to give myself some time to kind of see what I wanted to do. Did I want to automatically go into clinical? Because where I'm at within the state of North Carolina at the time, they've changed it, kind of made some amendments to it now as of January 1st of 2021. But previously, before the amendments, you can actually graduate with your MSW degree, and you can actually apply and get your LCSWA like right after grad school. So I was in that space. And I was trying to figure out, okay, hey, this is around March. I'm not really sure of if I want to just go straight into an actual career. So some people may be in that same space. I know one person that normally comes and watches, her name is Rosie. She's graduated in 2 months. She's in the space of about to graduate. So she's going to be graduating in May of this year. So it's just one of those things that you think about. You're wanting to kind of see, okay, well, some people maybe even have been offered jobs within their field practicum or within your, internship. And those things are options too. Some people may have been offered but are not really considering it because they got an inside view of it. And for whatever reason, they may feel like it's not a good fit or not the particular field they kind of want to move forward in. And then others are employed and happy and like where they're at. So there's different spaces for each person that may be in this process. But I know one thing remains the same. You're thinking about post-grad. What am I going to do after I get my shiny MSW or BSW degree? So this is definitely an ideal time to start thinking about that. That's why I said, you know what, this would be a really fitting topic to kind of like bring to the social work sessions today, to really kind of like talk and kind of like debunk some of the things that you may be thinking. So the first thing that I have on some of the pointers that I kind of wanted to kind of give, or some just insights, is number one, as you're thinking about, the companies that you may want to work for, as you're thinking about some of the roles, as you're thinking about some of the pay, you're looking at a gamut of things, just trying to see what may be ideal for you. And then you want to know, like, what are the jobs out there really for post-grad, like for recently graduate students. Because I know in my program, there was a combination of people that had experience in the field, in the profession, and they had the field practicum to go along with experience, and that kind of like helped them leverage some things. But there also were people that was in the program who just kind of went straight through their BSW program, who did not have any social work experience at all. So this video is going to be addressing those matters for either or. If you're an MSW student, a BSW student with or without experience, these pointers tonight would definitely be insightful to you, okay? So number one, begin early, really compiling a list. Now, like I said, the things that I provide to you are from my own personal experiences of going through my BSW, MSW program. You can take what you need. I'm not telling you you got to do this or you got to do that, but this is just a person that's kind of been in similar shoes as it relates to going through the social work journey process. So I would say begin early. Start thinking about some of those things that you are really wanting to do. So you've been in your program, some of you all in a 2-year program, some of you all in just a 1-year program. If you did advanced standard like I did, you're thinking like, okay, what's ideal for me to do? What's ideal for me to do? And I see that people are coming in. I'm going to continue on. We're talking about post-grad, being strategic in the job search process, whether you're a BSW student, MSW student, or professional, and we're talking about it, how it relates to your social work career. So welcome. If you want to put your name down below, feel free to do that. And I'm going to continue on, okay? So like I said, you want to start early. You want to start early in the process because you want to start thinking, okay, what's some of the places that I feel like are possible strong leads or possible, ideal companies that I want to work for and roles that I want to actually be in. Start thinking about those things. And when I say start thinking about them, give yourself time to think about it, but also looking up the companies, like some of the, even if you like, you can start these processes step by step. So the first one, like I said, is looking at the companies, starting early, but looking through the job descriptions. So why do I say start at the job descriptions? Because you're wanting to know what these roles are detailing. So some of the requirements, some of the tasks, some of the abilities, some of the skills, some of the knowledge, these are things that you're going to want to know because employers are going to be looking for these particular things. And you want to look through what experiences you already have. If you have some experience within the social work field or in similar helping professions or anything that may help you, add to your experiences, look and see any areas that may be in comparison. Like, oh, okay, I have that skill, or I have that skill, or I have that ability. Start looking and see what skill sets and what skills, what knowledge base you already have. And then for my people that don't really have a whole lot of experience, start jotting down and looking through some of your field placement practicums, some of your field practicum and some of your internships. Look and see if there's anything. A good way to do this too is to look through your learning contract. Look through your learning contract, look through your timesheets that you completed when you were at your field placement or at your field practicum, because sometimes it's so easy to forget and be like, you know what, I don't know. Welcome. I see more people are coming through. Definitely put in the chat and introduce yourself. I'm actually starting and I'm already talking, but I see people are coming in. Like I said, I got a little late start for tonight, but you definitely are welcome, okay? And the title of this video, you'll see it at below. But definitely, like I said, you definitely want to be able to look back at some of those field practicum experiences and some of your internship experiences, because you're wanting to see what things are transferable over. What things have you already done that you may not be thinking is a skill, that you may not be thinking is an ability, that you may not be thinking matches with that particular job description, because you're going to want to know that. So like I said, the first thing is to start early. And it's going to go into my second particular topic, but I want to kind of stay on this one for a little while longer. Like I said, you're finishing up in March. You already know, okay, I'm about to be hitting spring break. So while you're on spring break, or even after you return from spring break, because I know you definitely may be burnt out at this particular time, like, oh, I'm just ready to graduate. I don't have time. I'm just ready for this to be over, planning your celebrations and all of that. But we're talking about being strategic in the job search progress. We're talking about post-grad. What are you going to prepare yourself for? It's being strategic, having a plan of action, being very calculated about what you're doing, because you're wanting to actually, assess to see where you're at. See where you're currently at to see where you're wanting to go. And if you're going to be strategic, you got to begin early, because this is the thing. You're not going to be the only one graduating with your BSW degree. You're not going to be the only one graduating with your MSW degree. You're going to have other people that are graduating from all other social work programs that are definitely going into the job market around the same time that you're going to the job market. So you want to be very strategic in how you can make yourself stand out amongst all the additional applicants that are definitely in the same or similar positions as yourself. So start looking early as it relates to your job search process. You want to start looking for companies that you say, you know what, I like what they stand for. I like their mission. And you know, on the Core Inspiration channel, we always talk about being inspired from your core, the core of who you are. So you want to look into the mission statements. You want to look into see what type of work or what type of impact this particular agency, this particular company and corporation is actually doing in the community. You know, you want to see what things lends to your strengths, what things are opportunities for you to grow in, but you want to kind of know more about the actual agency. So you definitely want to, like I said, start early, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're just kind of like applying to anything and you're just like, hit. You're just waiting for something to just come to you. And that's exactly, what will happen if you do that. Something will come to you. But you want it to be more than just something. You want to be strategic about it. So that's the whole purpose of what we're doing tonight. Like I said, I see people are coming in. Again, my name is Melanie, and you are watching Core Inspirations Live. Today is Tuesday. We're doing our social work sessions live. We do it every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday. And we talk about all things social work. And for tonight's topic, we're talking about post-grad, being strategic in the job search process. And this goes out to the BSW students, the MSW students, and we're talking about social work career in general tonight. So the first topic we talked about was beginning early and looking at some of the ideal roles and companies that you may want to work for. In particular, looking at the job descriptions, because you want to be able to know what the HR department and the program managers has compiled together to come up with for this particular role. And they're letting you know X, Y, and Z is what we're looking for. And you wanted to look at X and compare it to what experiences you have, whether that's prior work in the field or your field practicum or your internship. You want to look at Y to see if anything that you may have done even in volunteership and leadership classes, any type of volunteership that you may have done while you was in the program, anything you may have done within any of the extracurricular activities on campus. You definitely want to look at that, because a lot of times people overlook some of those skills. I know I did with some of those things. And then Z, looking to see, okay, this is a place that I feel like I can grow here, but I possess these skills. So you want to compare and contrast. You know, not every role, not every company is possibly going to be ideal for you, because you may be looking for a particular thing. You may have a particular area of practice that you like to be able to be in. You may have a particular population that you might like to work with. And some of these roles may not have you doing that. And I would definitely look at, you want to kind of get a really good feel for like the day-to-day. Like what will the day-to-day look like in some of these particular roles? So it's really important that you look at the job description, and it kind of gives you like the basis of where to start and what you can look for in that role. So we are moving on to number 2. And the reason why I tell you, and I'm telling you, I really wish somebody told me these things. I'm telling you, I started early overall in general, like I said, just looking, but I was not really wanting to go straight to work, straight out of grad school. I wanted to kind of give myself some time. I wasn't sure if I wanted to take my test and just give myself a couple of months to study. Like I knew I didn't want to automatically go to work. So I was taking my time, but I still wanted to look to see what they had out there. But number two, letters of recommendation and resumes. So why did I tell you to start early? Because as you know, letters of recommendations, you're going to be going to several people asking for your letters of recommendation, because these are the times that a lot of times when you're definitely a person who does not have a lot of social work experience, this is where you can really have those written skills and different strengths and abilities provided in a written form to kind of like add that little to your application, you know? So it really helps you to be able to, you know, stand out, but it also highlights other things that you may be lacking or that you may not have an actual job or had a role to actually expound upon that particular experience, but you definitely have those skill sets, so you definitely bring those abilities, and it's going to be conveyed in a written form. So you definitely want to have time to reach out to the people that you built relationships throughout your program, throughout each semester, throughout your time of being a student, So and then even with your field practicums, even with your field placements, you want to definitely utilize those relationships, because ultimately you rocked out your program, hopefully so, you rocked out your program, and you're able to go back and let them know, like, hey, I'm really looking to go into this particular area. Would you mind writing a letter of recommendation for me? So again, letters of recommendations, right? So you're going to have time, because you may be reaching out to numerous people. So you don't want to have to do it at the last time. You have to think in mind, where some of your mind frames of your professors. Now they're getting prepared for graduation, for your graduation and all of that, but they're also getting ready for a new cohort. So their time is still limited, So you have to be able to understand that. And I'm telling you, this is like free jewels that I'm just dropping jewels everywhere. I'm serious, because I didn't understand all of that, but it helped that I started early. But I will say one thing I didn't know, what I'm telling you, is that I wish I would have been able to compile a list of different places that I definitely wanted to go. I had some in mind, so I ended up having to get some and then kind of go back. But depending on how many roles you're applying for, you may not have time to go through all of that. If you've already did number one, which is look at your job descriptions, look at the companies that you want to apply for, and you're doing it early, you already have a list of different companies and the roles you're going to apply for. And when it comes down for letters of recommendation, you may give 2 employees for that one, 2 employees to this one, and 2 employees for the other way. We're talking about being strategic tonight, right? It's having a plan. It's having a plan. Tonight's topic is about post-grad, being strategic in the job search process for BSW, MSW, as it relates to your social work career. And we're talking about being strategic. So you may have numerous letters of recommendations to receive, but you can give them different employers to different ones, because you already did number one, which is have your list already ready. Now, granted, would you possibly, apply to all of these places? Hopefully so, that you're really ruled out a lot. And I have a video on that too. You definitely want to go to the playlist as it relates to employment and trying to get multiple offers, like my insight that I provide about that. I kind of go through all of those kind of details. So you definitely want to check those videos out and those playlists on my channel. If you're new to the channel, definitely look around and get familiarized with the channel. On my channel, we share everything about education, career, inspiration, and self-care. One of my most recent uploads is from the Social Work Learning Lounge podcast, which is more of the academic portion of the channel. And I recently did one on systematic racism as it relates to a story of a person's journey. It's a mom of 2 children, and I talk about that. So if you hadn't had a chance to listen to that, you can listen to that on the go. But as it relates to the playlist, I have different things as it relates to the social work career. And I normally kind of title them social work career, so that way you'll know. So some is just for the MSW, BSW program, and some of them actually are for the social work career. So if you're wanting to kind of get some more insight about that, definitely go to the social work career playlist, and you'll have tons and tons of insight surrounding that. But as it relates to tonight, what we're talking about, getting your letters of recommendations ready. And then you already know, while you're doing your letters of recommendation, you definitely want to brush off your resume. So it's time to update a lot of those different things. You're going to be trying to figure out, okay, now you have more skill sets. You're about to get a degree, you're about to get another degree. For some people, this will be a dual degree for you. And you're also getting other skill sets. Some employers need to kind of come off. I know a lot of times, depending on the state that you're in, but within the state of North Carolina, within the profession of social work, they really kind of like keep you around 10 years or less on a resume. Most people do not want you to provide more information of your previous work history more than 10 years on a resume. And like I said, it may vary from employer to employer, county to county, state to state, but per where I'm at and within the industry that I'm in, 10 years or less is pretty standard. It's pretty staple. So you definitely want to look into that. I would definitely say you want to utilize all of your resources. So if you have a career development place that you can go on campus, definitely utilize that. These are your times when you're wanting to make those appointments out to let someone else look over your resume. Get some updates. If you've been a person from my non-traditional people, if you're actually coming from one field and going to another field, and you're transitioning into a different career, you definitely want to know what some of the trendy things within the social work industry, so that way you put yourself in a position to be seen amongst all of the other competitors, amongst all the other employers, and also amongst the employees that are seeking the same particular employment and roles that you're looking for. So you definitely want to make sure that you're marketable. That's pretty much what I'm saying, okay? So definitely, like I said, utilize all of your tools as it relates to career development. You definitely want to have someone else look over some things. I definitely did that myself, because you want to, it gives you that added confidence too, because that's their job, right? They're there to help people, and they're used to working with students and professionals who are new grads, that's post-grad, that are about to be graduates, that are non-traditional students. They have an influx of different people at different levels. So you definitely want to utilize your professionals that may be in that industry that know a lot more about, the trends. Because some people I know, like, do you put your education at the top? Do you put your education at the bottom? Well, it all depends. It all depends. What's your experience? What are you really trying to highlight? What are you really trying to showcase? So these are things that you want to kind of work through, you want to kind of work through. And we're going to the last topic for tonight. And before we get to the last topic, I just want to review. Tonight we are talking about, what do you do to be strategic in your job search process as it relates to you being a BSW student, as it relates to you being an MSW student. We're talking about social work career tonight. And like I said, around this time, this is March. I know myself, when I graduated my MSW program of May of 2019, these are things that I definitely could have utilized for someone kind of helping me along the way. So you may be already thinking and you're knowing that, hey, I definitely want to work at this one place. I don't care if I know other places. I want to work here. I would definitely encourage you to do what you feel is best, but also be open-minded to definitely give yourself as many options as possible. I would definitely say having a good, strong sense of, prioritizing what you're wanting to do, having a good sense of what companies you feel like really resonate with you and your values and what they do for the community. I think that's good. Having a good sense of knowing the pay rates and starting salaries. I think that's another thing to consider. And any other thing that you value as it relates to your relationship with an employer, with a company, with a role. Definitely put those in categories. And like I said, with number one, starting early, looking at companies, comparing job descriptions, comparing and contrasting to see where you fit at within that process, what skill sets you bring, whether it's from previous work experience or whether it's from internships or field practicum. Number two, giving time to be able to go and request letters of recommendations, being respectful of time, not doing things at the last minute. Again, professors are getting themselves amped up for graduation, but they're also getting themselves amped up for a new cohort that's coming in, especially if you are doing advanced standing. As May ends one particular cohort, it also sometimes can begin others. So you have to definitely be mindful of that. They have sometimes like a little break in between there sometimes, but it's not a big break. I think it's a week at the most, maybe 2 weeks, depending on what city you're in. And then with the resume, definitely taking out the time to brush up your resume. I would definitely recommend not just having a one size fit all resume. I think that is a dated practice, but would definitely in the industry of social work. Now, everybody's opinion, they're entitled to it. But in my experience, I would definitely say that I utilize these same insights and tips that I'm providing to you, and I was offered multiple offers. And that's not to brag or say, oh, I'm all of that, which I am, because I worked hard. I was very strategic. I really was. And I haven't always been that way. And like I said, I had some time where I was at one particular role for a long time. That was when I was working for the Department of Social Services. I was there for 9 years. And then I went back to school within like the latter portion of my career there. So it was a lot of time that I wasn't in the industry. I wasn't in the job market. And it's so important that, you find people that are in fields and positions that can help you kind of like know what's the happenings right now, what's trending, what's the marketable skill sets that people are really needing right now. So it's very important that you be strategic in how you follow through with your process. Like I said, I was able to land different and multiple offers because I was able to start early in my process and really see what was for me. Not every role was ideal. We're not even talking about the interview process and all of that. I have a video on that, after the interview and before. Like, I have videos on that. If you're interested in that, again, you can look on the channel underneath all of my social work career videos, and I'll provide insight. If it's anything that you feel like you want to know more about, something I may have not provided, definitely DM me on Core Inspirations on Instagram, and I can address some of those questions and concerns, okay? But for the last topic matter, the last insight pointer for tonight is to remember it's your journey. I'm going to say that one more time. Remember, this is your journey. So you have travailed through your MSW program, your BSW program. This is your journey. This is your journey. So I would definitely say this. You're going to feel the pressure. You're going to feel the pressure of wanting to give into comparisons. You're going to feel the pressure and may want to give into the feelings or urges of competition. But be mindful that you are not in competition with anyone but yourself. And you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else's journey, because it's your journey. Be in competition with yourself to be your best self. Everyone's journey is different. Some people may be going a clinical track. Some people may be going to further their education with a PhD. Some people may be going to different states and going to another country. I mean, I'm serious. This is just one particular time where you had people in a particular cohort. But that doesn't mean just because you're in that cohort, you are going to stay in that way. Everybody's path is different. Some people may be staying within the same city. Some people want to just do case management type roles. Some people's experiences may lend for them to have to start at a different place than where you may have to start, depending on your experience level. So I would say this: don't get caught up, because it's easy to do. Do not get caught up in comparisons and competition, because it's your journey. And I know I repeated myself, but it's definitely worth repeating because it's a lot. It can be very stressful when you're like, okay, I went to school for all this amount of time and I have this degree and I want to be able to do these particular things, and feel the stress of like, oh my goodness, I wanted to do this, but how do I get from point A to point B? And that's why, like I said, the channel that I'm creating and building in this space, that's why I'm so like really, I'm empowered just by having my own channel. Like, I literally am, because I feel like this is information and insight that I wish that I had throughout my process. It can be a very, very hard time to really kind of go through this. And I know they talk about post-grad depression, and I think I have a video on that, or at least talk about that in one of the social work career videos, because there's going to be a very, mixed emotions within the whole process. There may be times where you're applying for things and you're just like, okay, I'm on my apply game. I'm on my research game. I got a hit there. I got an interview set up. I got an interview here set up. And then it may be periods of time, okay, I've been applying for this position. Why are you not calling me back? Okay, I've been applying for that position. I haven't heard nothing back, And then the ones that you may go on, because I've experienced this too, where you have an interview, but then it's more interviews than that. It's just not just a one-time interview done. It may be a tier. There's different types of interviewing processes where you may have group, or you may have person to person, or you may have a panel. I've experienced them all, even including virtual interviews. So there's so much to take in, but I want you to be encouraged throughout this process. If you are definitely, getting to the place where you're finding that you're thinking like, okay, my program is about to end. I'm about to graduate. I'm excited. But you're just also kind of feeling anxiety around it, or just intense emotions around, okay, what am I going to do afterwards? Please know that it's normal. It's normal to feel like you don't know what you're going to do. It's normal to feel stressed about trying to figure out what you're going to do. And it's normal to be frustrated and happy and frustrated and happy throughout the process, because it's a process. And again, like I told you, it's your journey. You make it what you want it to be. I definitely would say make sure that you take time to nourish yourself. Make sure that you take time to nurture yourself. And make sure that you take time in self-care practices while you're going through the job process, because it can be very critical and crucial. Some of you all, like myself, may see other people that may have been in your cohort that you're going for the same roles and you're going for the same jobs for some people. But just because somebody may have gotten a position, or just because you may have gotten a position that somebody else didn't get, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you better or not better. Or, it doesn't make it. That's why I said you may feel those urges to compare yourself. You may feel those urges to feel like you're in a competition, But please know, again, this is your journey. So it's all in what you make it to be. It's all in what you make it to be. So that's tonight's session. That's pretty much tonight's session as we talk about post-grad, being strategic in the job search process as it relates to being a BSW student, as it relates to being an MSW student within the social work career. Now, I do see that we have some people that's in the room. Some people have come, I see, and some people have gone, and some people maybe still in the room. If you have any questions, I would definitely lend the time now. The time is 9:26. Like I said, we initially start at 8:30. Tonight I was a little bit behind. And I think as a result, some people may have came in early and then left. But nevertheless, this is definitely going to be done in a replay. So that way people can actually be able to see it again. But if you're just coming in, because I do still see people in the room, my name is Melanie. And you're watching Core Inspirations. It's a channel designed with social work students and professionals in mind. So you're definitely at the right place at the right time. Tonight we really talked about the process of where you may be at if you're an MSW or BSW student. Some people are actually getting themselves ready to actually graduate in May. And I've been there. I've graduated my MSW in May of 2019. And I wanted to give you some pointers. So just to kind of recap, for tonight we talked about, number one, the importance of starting early. Looking into the companies that you feel like you may be wanting to work for, some of the mission statements, some of the roles, job descriptions, looking through those to also see what particular transferable skills you may have for some of the things and postings that they're hiring for. Number two, giving time to give your letters of recommendations. Those are times definitely to also put in additional skill sets that you may have, additional accomplishments that may not be on your resume. Those are definitely some times that you can be intentional and strategic about, especially if you lack social work experience. You definitely have to learn ways to help you to leverage the skill sets that you do bring, because even though you may lack social work experience, that doesn't mean that you don't have social work experience. There's a difference. And then we also talked about your resume. Time to brush off your resume, utilizing resources and tools of development and training on campus or off campus, having additional eyes, look at different documents as it relates to what is valid in your particular industry, as it relates to the structuring of your resume. There's different types of resumes. I'm not going to get all into the details of that, but definitely spending out time to meet with the professional so they can walk you through those parameters, okay? And then the last, like I said, it's your journey. You may feel yourself being pressured to compare yourself to other people that may seem like they're just winning and they got this job and they landed this job and they got this job and they got this role. You don't know how long they're going to be on that role. You don't know how long they may decide that they don't like the role. They may love the role, because it's not always a negative thing. They may love it, but it might not be for you. Every role that someone else get may not be ideal for you. And what's for you, I'm just a firm believer that what's for you is for you. You keep your head up. You keep trucking. You keep plugging in places. You keep being strategic. Give yourself time and patience, and know what's good for you. Know what's good for you, because, like I said, you also may feel pressure to be in competition. And one of the things that I definitely had to remind myself was that, Melanie, you are not in competition with anyone but yourself. I'm in competition of being my best self. How can I be better than the way I was the previous day? How can I take an interview that I may have went on and I felt like I just bombed it? What can I get out of that? Was it something that I could do better? Was it something that I should have asked the employer? Was it something that I should have looked at some, that's a red flag, I don't know about them, you know? So it's one of those things, like I said, you have to be mindful that it's, and understanding that it's your journey. It's your journey. But I hope, all of these tips provided in today's social work session. This is something, like I said, we do every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that we talk about all things within the social work profession as it relates to you as a student and you as a professional. I pride myself in helping you connect the dots from your classroom to your social work career. So if anyone has questions, I don't see that anyone introduced themselves. Like I said, I do see people in the room, and it's totally okay if you're not comfortable with that. If you're just wanting to come in and just kind of get a little glimpse of just the insight that's been provided here, I am definitely giving jewels. I really am, because these are really, like I said, I've been through that process with my BSW and my MSW, and I know that process. And like I said, it can get real rough when it comes to that job search process. And you have to remind yourself, you know what? I am going to find something that's ideal for me, and it may take time, and it really may take time. And what I say is this: make sure that you get feedback. And even if you may not get direct feedback, for some of the people that you apply, you can sit back and know, okay, well, you know what? Could I have prepared for this answer a little bit better? And write things down. You want to be strategic. Everything about being strategic is having a plan, not being, not doing things at the spur of the moment. You're wanting to take time, because this is your career you're talking about. Now, if you just want a little position or just a job, just a little something for now, then this may not be for you. This information may not be for you. But if you're looking for something that equates to, okay, I've gotten my degree, I've got my BSW, I got my MSW, and I'm wanting to really put that into a career, definitely this is for you, because you have to be strategic throughout the process. That's something that I've learned. Like I said, I have not always been strategic. I have not always, sought out and always been in knowing what's in the market, what's in the industry, what are the current abilities and skill sets that they're hiring for. I've learned to be that way throughout my process. And I kid you not, I'm so empowered now as it relates to the process. I put these same principles in place as I graduated. And like I said before, I was offered multiple offers with the tips that I'm giving you today. So it's not something I'm just saying just to be cute on, YouTube, because, I'm cute. But I'm just being honest. I'm really being from the heart. This channel, like I said, has been designed with social work students and professionals in mind, because I want it to be an added support to the community of social workers. Oftentimes, a lot of times people tell you about careers and things to do with career and kind of go from there. I wanted to help you develop from the classroom to your career. I help you connect the dots from your classroom to your social work career, because I think that the development as a student is important as well. There's things that you could be doing right now while you're in your social work program that will help you, so when you're done with your schoolwork as it relates to just your program, because we're not done. We're life learners, right? You do know that, right? Yeah. Come closer. Come look close. You are going to be a life learner. So this is just one little portion in your ongoing foundation that you're going to build for yourself. So like I said, don't get frustrated. This is your journey. Make it a great one. Make it a great one. Make it a great one. But like I said, if you have any questions about any things or any particular topic matters that you're wanting me to cover, or you're wanting me to provide a little bit more insight about, definitely don't forget to DM me on Instagram. Okay? I put my name in the chat there so you can see it. It's Core Inspirations one word. And if you go to my About tab on my YouTube page, it's an icon, the Instagram icon. You'll click right on it. It'll take you right over to my Instagram page. So don't forget to follow me there and DM me to let me know. But definitely like this video, y'all. Like this video because it lets YouTube know that you all are wanting more content, and it allows me to share my content because I'm really on a mission. Like I said, it's so much that goes into having a channel and really kind of like getting your content out there. And like I said, I don't have a whole lot of subscribers as of right now, but and sometimes that kind of can hinder me from getting my reach out. So I really depend upon you all to share this content with people that you feel like it would definitely be useful for, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be an added support within the social work community as it relates to being a social work student and a professional, because we have the best profession there is. Yes, I'm not going to talk about all the things that we can do, but definitely if you've missed, I want to say this is the third social work session. I want to say this is the third social work session. So if you missed 1 and 2, definitely go back within the channel and check them out. Like I mentioned, I also do the Social Work Learning Lounge podcast on my channel as a podcast. I have episode number 3 up. So definitely take a look at that. And if you haven't caught up on your episodes for the podcast, like if you're brand new to the channel, definitely look around on the channel. We have a lot of different things that we offer as it relates to career, as it relates to the academia, social work process of being a student, inspiration, and self-care. So like I said, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover for this social work session tonight. We talked about post-grad, being strategic in the job search process as it relates to you being a BSW student, an MSW student, and your overall social work career. So if you all do not have any questions, I'm wishing you nothing but wellness and nothing but prosperity as it relates to your mental health, your physical health, emotional health. But that is what I wanted to share with you all today. I think I've already provided. If you have any further questions or if you have any particular topic matters as it relates to something that you may be interested in or something that you're feeling like, hey, I would love to have clarity around this particular topic matter, DM me at Cornspirations on Instagram. Cornspirations, one word. And we do the social work sessions every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, like I said, we were late. I was a little bit late tonight. I had to handle something before starting. But in the event, just know, if I'm behind, if I had to do that, hopefully I don't have to do that ongoing. But in the event, just know that I'm going to be loading up. I'm definitely going to be uploading and going live, okay? Because this means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. Having support is something that we need as social workers throughout our profession, but even before we even start the profession as a student. And I feel like, I really do, I feel like this has been my call and my purpose, of what I'm supposed to do, even right now. I don't know all of it, but I know that the Lord has really placed it upon my heart to really just be a person of support and giving back, giving back. A lot of the information that I share are things that I really have tried and true. I've been through that experience. I've been through, feeling like, what? I've applied for this position. I got my resume just right. I had to do my cover letter. I had to do this. I had to do that as it relates to all of that. And it can be stressful. It really can be stressful, So that's why I said having, someone that's kind of like been there, done that, it really goes a long way. So definitely, if anything's resonated with you tonight, if it's anything that you feel like, what? Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, you know what? I appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe so you can definitely be welcome in to the social work tribe. And I also tell you, definitely make sure that you like the video and make sure that you share the video. Like the video and share it so that it goes with the algorithm within YouTube so that my content is shared to more people that find it useful. Because like I said, y'all, we all are in it together. Social work tribe for life. But I will talk with you all later. Have an awesome, awesome evening. Have a good night. Bye-bye.